So for this final part, we're going to connect our screen to the project, and we're going to use all the pins we have for the screen here. So basically, it has the VCC pin, which goes to the 5 volts, the ground pin, which goes to the ground. Then we have CS, which goes to the pin number 10. Reset goes to pin number 8 on the Arduino. A0 goes to pin number 9 on the Arduino, SDA goes to 11, SCK goes to 13, and the LED pin over here goes to the 3.3 volts on the Arduino, this orange part here. So let's take a look at the code. Okay, so compared to the last time, we added a little bit more code to our project here, but it's not that complicated. So what we're doing here, we're adding the library to use the SPI screen here. Some of these pin variables can be changed, but I would suggest you go to the library webpage and take a look which ones you can and which ones you can't. But in our project, we're using these values over here. I've added some more, basically we added 2 more variables in under the DS3231 library, because in order to show, in order to use the QR code library, we need our dates and times to be in a char array type. So we can't actually just use a string to use that in the QR code generator. And we also added included the QR code library in here. Most of the stuff in the setup remains the same except for the screen. So we've added the use of the screen library. Here we begin using the screen library. Then we set the rotation. So basically the rotation can take like different values. 0, I think, was for the horizontal, and then each time you increase it like 1, 2, it will rotate the orientation of the screen by 90 degrees. You can just experiment with that and see how it goes. Then we set the background to be white, because that's how I want my screen to be. By default, it will actually be black. And if you want to use white text on black background, that's good for you. So here we set the text size, which is, you can put any value in here, you can experiment with that. The stroke and fill. So the stroke is the color with which you are going to draw on the screen. And fill, this is going to be used when we are going to create rectangles lower in the code. So this is going to be the color with which these rectangles are going to be filled. For the DS3231 section here, what I've done is, for the setup, it will actually create the date char array with the value for the date and time, and it's going to show it on the screen directly. So how this works is that you say text, you can actually put any kind of text here, but it has to be a char array type. And this is the Y offset. No, this I think is the XY offset. So basically how far from the left part of the screen the text is going to start. And the second parameter is how far from the top of the screen the text is going to start. So we're going to show the date at 0, 0. This is going to start at the leftmost top corner of the screen. I'm going to write the text to the right. And the time is going to be shown also from the left, but with an offset from the top with 20 pixels, or yeah, I think these are pixels actually. So this is where we're going to generate the QR code. This is just the instantiation, and this is where it actually receives the text you want to generate. So basically you will always just need to change this parameter over here. You can say here hello world, or in this case we're giving it the date. So basically every time the date changes, the QR code is going to be different, the generated QR code. So after the QR code is generated, it's going to return an array of basically horizontal lines. So that's how we want to use the response from the QR code generation. So what we're doing here is we're going through each horizontal line, and for each character we are going to create a rectangle. So how the rectangle works, you give it again an X offset, then you give it an Y offset, and the width and the height for that. So basically this is a formula I wrote here, and it's going to create rectangles where it has to have a value, and basically it's going to be empty when it doesn't need to have a value. So the whole QR code is going to be created through in different chunks of rectangle. So okay, so when we get to the loop, so in the loop here not much actually changed. The QR code is going to be shown on the screen together with the date at the setup, but for the loop I want to actually override the date and time on the screen, but I'm not going to touch the QR code anymore. So what I'm saying here is if the second value is going to be equal to 0, and we're still not powering off the Arduino, then we are going to remove the previous values that were already on the screen, and we're going to draw the new values. So the way the screen actually works, because this was a little bit confusing to me at first, you don't need to draw anything at every loop. Basically, if you draw something just once, it will just keep it on the screen all the time until you actually, let's say reset the background color or just write something on top of it. So that's what we are doing right here. Basically, we're taking the previous value for the date and the time, and we're overwriting the same pixels, right? So basically, if we're going to have the 1st of April, the pixels that stand for 1.04.2018, we're going to override those with the color of white. So basically, you won't be able to see them on the screen anymore because the background is white too. And then we're going to write the new values with the black color again. So every time you want to have something new on the screen, you need to get rid of the old values. You can do that, of course, every time by just resetting the background color. Well, let's say we're going to reset it back to white and then write again with the black text. That can be done, but it will actually take more time, and you're going to see that whole process happening on the screen because it's not instant, and you're still going to see it's not the best experience for the user. So let's see how this actually works right now. And this is it. This is the finished project, and if we try it now, it's going to generate the QR code. And you'll also notice the time. Yeah, so it just changed now because the part of the code where it says the seconds equal 00 just happened. So yeah, that's all. Hopefully this project helped you understand better how to use a screen, how to use the QR code generation. And as always, you can find all the information you need in the description for this video. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.